All right, so here we are, Swimming with the Sharks podcast, and of course we have the usual suspects. We have
sidekick
Cosby, the sidekick, and we have the technical guru and current events czar Robert, who is really, can you agree, falling down the job a little bit?
Yeah, he's kind of taking a step back.
I know, and I could see his hands were shaking. He was a little bit nervous.
Hey, the guru's rattled.
And he's rattled. He's rattled. But we want to thank our sponsor. I want to recommend to you this THC drink, 5 milligrams of THC, called the Patriot. This is a veteran-owned, veteran-founded company where a small portion of the profits from the company will be given to a veterans group. I recommend 100% the Patriot. Try it as a Sunday sipper. It's high speed, low drag, all American. Let's get to the meat of the matter. So we are pretty selective about our guests. We've had former governor,
attorney general,
current AG,
the mayor,
some
lawyers,
one lawyer, and we're going to have Jim Adler next week.
Mattress Mac.
We had Mattress Mac. And so we're pretty selective, and we get people asking all the time. I've had so many different people ask me, like, I want to come on your pod and talk about widgets and how they're made. I'm making that up, obviously, but I'm not looking for guests. Okay, if I need a guest, I'll come find you. But today, there are so many food reviewers, Colby.
There's a ton on
and
Instagram,
a lot of them aren't worth shit.
Most of them are pretty bad.
And some of them, when you see their food reviews, you know the place already. And you're like, come on, man, I've eaten there and it's not so great.
And you see the review and you just don't trust them.
You don't trust them, yeah. But we are blessed and we're excited. And I'm frankly surprised that this man responded to me. But I messaged Shawn the Food Sheep.
Shawn the Food Sheep.
Which I got a lot of questions about all that. But he's well known in the Houston area. I consider him the number one food critic in our city. Certainly somebody that when he does a review, usually it's a place that I don't know.
Yeah, he does a lot of smaller joints.
Yeah, it's a place that I don't know, and I'm like, oh man, I want to go try that. And I don't know if he's getting paid for this. We're going to find out, but he should because he has sent me to places that I probably never would have went, and was really happy that I went. A couple of comments about this man before I introduce him. Humble. His reviews are understated. They're thorough,
Very
detailed. Thorough. And they're full of credibility. He reviews, like I said, a lot of places that either I've heard of but hadn't went, or hadn't even heard of but really wanted to try. So I'm very excited to welcome to the Swimming with the Sharks podcast, Shawn the Food Sheep. Welcome.
Excited to be here. That is quite an introduction. I mean, like I was looking at all of your guests, and it's like Ken Paxton, Rick Perry, Mattress Mac, and now it's just going to be Shawn the Food Sheep.
No, you know what? This is going to get more views than any other because the thing that people care, of course, that people care about politics, and we care about our city, and we care. Lawyer things are kind of interesting. But we all care about food. And I think we all agree, or most of us agree, that we're blessed in Houston.
Yeah, very good food city.
The diversity of our food is amazing. You can get good barbecue. You can get good pho. You can get all kinds of food. And it's really good to have somebody that we trust who's out there trying these places and far-flung places across the city of Houston. But let me just ask you the first question, the very first thing I thought. Why do you call yourself the Food Sheep?
Yeah, so it's a hilarious story. So I created the account in early 2021. So are y'all familiar with Shawn the Sheep at all? Like it's like
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. It was like a clay doll kind of cartoon in the UK. It was really famous in the UK. So I used to visit like my aunts like in India, and that's where it would play. So like during the summer, there's nothing to do. It's like I didn't have a phone at that time. So I would just watch Shawn the Sheep. And so I just created a throwaway TikTok account called, Shawn the Food Sheep, just because I wanted to try to experiment with it. And it just got bigger and bigger. And I've tried to change the name. I genuinely have. And every time I ask people or I ask my followers, sometimes I'll do a poll. It's like 95% no. It's like, do not change it. It's like anytime I want to try new stuff is like, I like being known as a food guy. Like I also do Houston things to do. I like showcasing, just like everything amazing about Houston. And I also like to show like a little bit of my life. Like my family did a Super Bowl party, just stuff like that. But yeah, my followers, they don't want me to change the name. And, as long as maybe for the rest of my life, it'll probably be Shawn the Food Chief.
We don't want you to change it either.
Okay.
Because I think it's very unique and it makes people say, what? Yeah. And kind of like, you think of a sheep, you think of followers. Yeah. Kind of like, but you're actually a leader, I think. So
I'm honored. I'm honored. But by the way, Tony, I have a funny story of how I know you a little bit.
Okay.
So in 2023, you had launched, I know you have the Patriot right now, but you had launched another THC Seltzer brand called Hobuzz.
Yeah.
And so you actually helped me with my fantasy football league. It's super random, but basically I went to an event, where you guys were kind of giving it away and showcasing it. And, I met Washington, and Washington, he's like, hey, do you just want to take like 30, 40 of these home with you? And I was like, all right. I was like, I have a fantasy football party tonight. So I took it home, took it to my friend's fantasy football party. And like, I think some of them, some people drank THC, some of them didn't, but everybody was just like drank like all 30, 40. There was like 10 of us. And so like, you can imagine people drinking like 3 or 4 of them. Uh-huh. Well, while we're going through the fantasy football draft, people start, getting a little tired, because again, if you drank 3 or 4 of them, they're starting to like fall asleep. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, this is helping me out. And so after like the 3rd or 4th round, people are just not able to pick the right players or anything. And it genuinely,
Bucks QB sneaked them.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't make the championship that year, but I made playoffs. And I think that's a part of it.
The Hobuzz did it for you.
Exactly. The Hobuzz.
You weren't drinking it yourself?
No, so I did drink one, but I had drank one previously, and I had learned like after drinking one, I was like, okay, I think one's my limit. So I drank one that night, but I don't think all my friends were like that. And they drank 3 or 4. I'm telling you, all 30, 40 of them were killed that night.
That's funny. So, well, Hobuzz is no more, as you know. But we do have, of course, the Patriot. I'm not sure if you've tried it, but we'll send you home with some, and you can let us know what you think. And it's available. It's our sponsor for the show. It's available at Specs and mostly Specs.
Total Wine too.
Total Wine. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's start a little bit with you, and you give us as much personal information as you choose to, or as much as you don't. So where did you grow up?
So I was born and raised in Houston. So I was born in Texas Women's Hospital. I know that like super randomly. I went to the University of Houston for my undergrad. I know you're UH, law graduate as well. Go Cougs. And then I essentially, just grew up in the Houston area. Went to high school at Cypress Ridge High School. Went to school in the Cypress area, and then after graduating from University of Houston, I had realized, okay, I've been in Houston for 22 years straight at this point. Mm-hmm. So a week after graduating, I worked in nonprofit fundraising in DC, lived there for 2 years. And then after that, just moved to LA. I wanted to mix things up. And I'm a very logical person. So how I choose things is completely logical. Yeah. But how I chose where I wanted to go to grad school. So I did my master's in business at Pepperdine University.
Oh, wow.
And that
Malibu.
Exactly. That was the only place I wanted to go. And my mental framework was, I'm a very logical person. Let me make a very emotional decision. So did y'all ever watch Zoe 101 growing up?
That was shot at Pepperdine, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I remember watching Zoe 101, and I was like, that's where I want to do my master's degree. So the day that they opened Pepperdine Business School, I was the first one to apply, got my admission 2 weeks later, and I was like, I'm going to LA. And I didn't apply anywhere else. It wasn't based off of, okay, what are the business school rankings, anything like that. I was totally illogical, and it turned out to be some of the best decisions, like one of the best decisions of my life.
What age are you?
I am 30. Yeah, 30.
Okay, so y'all the same age.
And we were born in the same hospital.
Oh, in Texas Women's Hospital?
Yeah, it could have been born.
Y'all could be lying in the same nursery. What year? What month?
September 95.
September 95. I'm October 95.
There we go.
Well. So you've been in LA, you've been in New York, you've been to Malibu, decided to come back to Houston.
Yes. So the Houston area is where my family is. I moved back officially in January 2024. All my cousins are here. All of them, went to the University of Houston, except my sister. She went to Northeastern. She decided to be the, black sheep in the family. But all my family's here. This is where I want to be long term. I feel like this is like I don't want to move anywhere else unless unless there's like an emergency or unless I marry somebody and something happens. But Houston is where I want to be, and I want us to be the best food city in the world. Like genuinely, that is my goal.
Who is reviewing food in Houston that's bigger than you?
So there's a guy named Wayne. So
Wayne Dang?
Wayne Dang, yeah.
Okay, I know Wayne Dang. Okay.
So Wayne's awesome. I've personally never met him. We have exchanged messages on TikTok, but he goes all across the country as well. And he, I love Wayne.
Do you mostly stay in Houston though when you do your reviews?
95% of my content is within Houston, just because I actually feel like there's enough content to where I try to post around 300 times a year. And it's an unlimited amount of restaurants and bakeries that you can hit up.
When did you get into this full throttle?
So I set a goal to post every day for an entire year in 2021.
But you weren't here in 2021.
So I was doing because it was during COVID time.
Yeah.
So I was working at Bank of America for my MBA summer internship. And of course, you couldn't go to New York or Charlotte where Bank of America is. So I just came back to Houston because my lease had ran out. And during those 3 months, my first ever viral video was a place called the Cook Shack. I don't know if y'all have ever been. I think they closed down most of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I knew I had something was about a month in. Just so you know, the founder of Cook Shack, like that entire family, they used to run Cheddar's.
Okay.
But basically, like I get a message on Instagram. I have 200 followers on Instagram, but on TikTok, I was like 30, 40,000. I get a message and it's just like, hey, like the owner wants to get in contact with you. So he drove down from Dallas and he said, you've sold us out of chicken and waffles for an entire month, like just a month straight. And like, that's how I knew. I was like, okay, I'm going to continue this. Like I can have a real impact. And to this day, I've continued posting every day for the most part. Like again, 300 videos a year, got to take a couple days off.
You do your own editing?
I do all my own editing.
Because your videos are not just like full stream. I mean, there's some editing involved.
So today, I'm actually doing a day in the life video today. So like, you'll be a part of that. So by the end of like 7 or 8 p.m., I'll have everything posted of like, hey, day in the life of like, doing a podcast at Tony Busby. I like to be quick and efficient with it. Like literally, I will go in my car and I will edit.
Your phone?
Yeah, just on my phone.
All your videos are done with your phone.
Yep, it's an app called CapCut. So it's owned by TikTok. And yeah, it's just all done through CapCut.
Man, because we were thinking, one of the things we said was, we got to figure out who his editor is. We're going to steal them. So it's you.
Yeah, I do everything on my own. So I dedicate everything like across. So I work 40 hours a week, and then on content, editing, everything, driving, probably about 30 hours a week, just overall, just on all this.
And this is what you do for fun?
Yeah. So it's what I do as a hobby. It's for fun. I do consider it a side hustle. So you ask me, you're like, because it's a lot of money to spend, right? Like, probably spending about $15,000 to $20,000 a year on food. But what I do is I partner up with brands about 2 to 3 times a month, right? So you can go through my feed, you can see it. It's like my last paid partnership was with Main Chick, which is a hot chicken chain around Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, that's just how it works.
But how would somebody like that pay you?
So essentially, what they
give
do,
you chicken?
No. So it's like an actual
they give
payment.
you money?
Yeah, they'll give you money. Because if you have an impact, right? Like, like big brands want to partner with you. Like I've done brands with McDonald's, like basically every major fast food chain, every single food influencer has done something with. But that's how you do it. You make money off those 2-3 videos, and then that pays for the rest of the food, the rest of the coffee, and just kind of, the driving around town. And that's kind of how it works. Mm-hmm.
All right, so all right, this is new. Okay, this is not what I expected.
Yeah, this is good info.
So all your videos, 300 a year on average, you're doing with your phone.
Yes.
What's the most views you've gotten on a video that you can recall?
So before I used to not focus on Houston. When I moved back in January 2024, my views went slightly down, but that's just because I'm focused on the Houston metropolitan area.
Right.
At its peak, it was like, even now, I would say about 5 to 10 million views a month. Which is across Snapchat, across TikTok, across YouTube. And what I do is I post on every single platform because
same video.
Because a lot of people think that, you shouldn't post the same video on the same platform. All the platforms' viewers are different. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I'm not going on TikTok, Instagram. Like I consume stuff through all the mediums, but there's a lot of kids that are just on YouTube. There's a lot of people just on TikTok, a lot of people just on Instagram. So you can get away with posting the same video on every single platform.
Twitter, do you post Twitter too?
Not Twitter. I do Threads. It's just like, the thing is, anytime you add something, it may not sound like a lot, but you're adding another 10, 15 minutes. And so I'm kind of maxed out at capacity at this point. Like I've thought about getting like a virtual assistant from like the Philippines or something just to help me out. And that's why like I do have a manager now that manages like 80% of their like, like let's say we get an email in for a brand deal, he'll kind of go in, he'll manage that.
Does he get paid like points on top of that?
Yeah, he gets like, let's say we do a brand deal with like McDonald's, right? He'll get 15% of that. So that's essentially how it works.
And how much do you think you would make on this, what you've called a side hustle every year?
Not too certain. It could, 15%. I'm actually not too certain. It could be 10, 15. Again, I should hire an accountant. I should hire all this. I do everything myself. I even do all my own taxes because I come from a finance
background. But at some point you're going to get so big that you're not going to be able to do that.
That's true. That is true. I think I do need to I do need to like let go of a lot of that stuff. And I am getting to that point. Like last year I didn't have a manager. Now I have a manager. I have like this year I'm finally hiring an accountant. Like it's just, offloading some of this stuff because now it's not like a side hustle anymore. Now it's like Houston businesses actually weirdly depend on this. Like I'll give an example. Last year I went to Tailspin Pizza. Have y'all ever been to Tailspin Pizza?
Mm-mm.
I haven't.
So they do this thing called Neo-Texan pizza. It's Neapolitan style pizza, but with Texas ingredients.
Okay.
It's like you're talking like a brisket pizza. Like currently we have a chicken tikka pizza there because I come from an Indian background. My grandparents are from northern India, so we're doing like a chicken tikka like spicy pizza with them. And by the way, I don't make any money on this. Like all of it's just going to charity. A great program called Kids Meals. But yeah, it's like last year blew them up, and just other influencers went and they said it never slowed down. And this year we decided to do a collab together, and we're just selling pizzas.
Do people give you free meals?
Yeah, here's where I will say I do accept free meals sometimes, like not 95% of the time, but 5% of the time. Is let's say a restaurant is doing a collaboration dinner. Like I'll give one example where I accepted a free one is Maximo. They're an incredible, by the way, one of the best Mexican restaurants.
We're going there tomorrow night.
Oh, y'all are going there tomorrow night?
Not him. I'm not taking him.
You're going
with my wife. I'm taking my wife there tomorrow night.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm not taking that guy.
Okay,
I'm taking that guy nowhere.
I'm going to text the chef and tell him the great Tony Busby's coming. But basically, like in those situations, I've been there 3 or 4 times, right? So I know the quality's good. They were doing a collaboration dinner, and they'll invite me. If sometimes like they have extra tickets or they just want people there, and I don't have an obligation to post or anything, but if I know a chef, like what I don't like doing is like, if it's like a first time or whatever, but if I really know a chef, like if I've been going to the same place for like 4 years, I posted them once a year or twice a year, I'll accept that occasionally, but 95% of it I pay on my own. Yeah.
But I would think that I can tell you what happens to me, what happens to us. Yeah. If I go into any restaurant in this town, and once the manager finds out it's me, all of a sudden, they send over something free, or they do this and they do that. I don't know if they're doing that because they're afraid that I'm going to like shit on them on the podcast, or maybe shit on them with my friends. But I would think somebody like you who's really in the food world, that if I'm the restaurant owner and I see you show up, I'm going to roll out the red carpet and I'm not going to let you pay anything. Would you allow that?
I try not to for the most part. Like I'll give a situation where sometimes it's like, it's kind of impossible, right? Like let's say you walk into a restaurant, sometimes they'll give you like, at the end of the meal, they'll like just bring out a couple extra desserts or something like that. So in those kind of situations, it's like, it's tough not to, but you'll tip a little extra and you'll just kind of make up the difference. Now, what will tell you is, I'm sure you deal with this a lot. I don't know the exact phrasing for it, but it's something called, have you heard of like, I call it favor debt. So it's when people try to put you in debt for little things. It's not nefarious, but sometimes like people can have the wrong mindset. Let's say I'm at a coffee shop. Somebody in front of me recognizes me. They're like, "Oh, you're Shawn." They're like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of your coffee." And I've learned not to accept little stuff like that, because all it takes is a week later, you get a message on Instagram. "Hey, Shawn, it was great seeing you. My cousin's got this great restaurant, by the way." Like 90% of the time, a lot of people are, a lot of the times people are nice, but a lot of the times what people are trying to do is trying to get you to do favors. I'm not saying that's how most people operate, but that is how some people operate.
But that if you do, it's clear that if you do a review of a restaurant, their business is going to spike. Is that true?
It does depend. I would say 90, I feel confident to say like 90 to 99% of the time that is true. It also depends on how viral the video goes. But yes, I will say they probably would get an increase in business.
So that's why I'm sure people are asking you to come to their restaurant all the time.
Yeah, I get get so many DMs a day.
How do you decide?
Honestly, now that I've gotten to know a lot of the chefs around town, I actually follow a lot of the chefs on Instagram. I follow a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the chefs, and I see, what are other chefs posting? What are other chefs going to? What are other restaurant owners going to? Because it's also their reputation on the line, right? Like, let's say you're a 1 Michelin star chef. You are not going to post a place that is not up to your caliber. Mm-hmm. And so I try to follow all the chefs around town where they're going. Like, I don't consider myself a food expert. I kind of consider myself more of a research and people expert. So if you know people with amazing food taste and you're following like 50 or 100 of them, then 90% of the time you're gonna have a good endorsement. Like, I'll try to reach out to like chefs and stuff. I was like, hey, have you heard of this place at all? Is this place good or is this place not? I remember there was a place a few months ago that I was supposed to go to. I reached out to like 3 chefs. I was like, hey, have y'all heard of this place? Is this place good? And a lot of them were just honest and like, no, it's.
Will you not review a bad place?
I try to be as positive as I can. Like, so for me, it's about supporting Houston, about supporting Houston's food scene. And since I can only make 250 to 300 videos a year, I try to be as positive as possible. I have not posted a negative video since moving back in Houston in January 2024. And also, small businesses are, most of these places are small businesses, and it's already hard enough, right? Like, imagine if you're going to a restaurant, it's run by a family, and they're just having a bad day. I don't want to be the person that's known for destroying that family or destroying that business.
He's a nice person.
Very nice.
He's a nice person. He's a lot nicer than me.
Yeah, we don't have quite the same mindset.
Okay, so because I represent probably 200 or 300 restaurants.
Yeah, at least.
You represent 200?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and various things like when the 2021 the power outage, a lot of restaurants took it in the shorts because they lost product, they lost business, they were out for a long time, and I represent a lot of them suing Centerpoint as an example. But so we've been doing these food reviews just for fun. I mean, I don't profess to be an expert, but I always think to myself, like, wait a minute, oh shit, I represent this person. Like I represent Ben Berg. I represent who's the guy down in Pearland, Ronnie Killen. I represent a lot of these people that are kind of the leaders of the chef world in Houston, and I go to some of their restaurants. I represent Tillman Fertitta as an example. I can't. So I find myself in there like getting ready to maybe take a shit on the steak and say this steak sucks, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I represent this person. So what is and I would assume that for you, you're friends with a lot of these chefs. It kind of, I guess, as our grandmother used to say, the best, sometimes you can't say something good, you just don't say nothing at all.
And that's the thing. I was like, I know I'm going to have an extraordinary positive impact, but I know that power can be used for I don't want to say evil, but like, bad too, right? Like if I go to a place now and I don't like it, like I'll give an example. I went to a couple Korean fried chicken spots. I was just craving Korean.
Don't say, because I got your thread post.
Yeah.
So if it's this place,
no.
Okay.
It's not. But I went to a Korean fried chicken spot.
Okay.
I really wanted to post them because they were local, and I just didn't have a good experience there. Like, I, in good faith.
Did you tell them?
No, just because I didn't know them or anything, or I think that maybe that is a good idea, what I could do just to benefit them. But
people would think you're being arrogant. If I would think if I had a shitty experience and then I thought that my opinion mattered so much that I was just going to go tell them. I don't know how I would take that. How would you take that? I know how you would take it. You would say, yes, sir. But if you're the owner, you're like, okay, I don't give a shit if you had a good time or not. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be tough to receive. I don't even know what you would say.
But I think if you came into my restaurant, and I hope to have a restaurant one day, and you came to me privately and said, hey, TB, here's the things I don't think I would take that in as judgment. I would take that more as a positive, like.
Yeah, especially if you're polite about it. Say, hey, man, I do this all the time. I think this could have been better or whatever. Yeah,
because see, we were doing a little research, and you said you posted this on Threads.
Yes.
There's a popular Houston restaurant I genuinely want to root for. But out of my last 3 visits, 2 had extremely poor service, honestly bottom 5% of the 300 times I've dined out this past year. After the latest visit, I've decided to step away. I don't like putting spots on blast. So if I don't enjoy a place, I typically just don't post about it and keep moving. So I guess what I take from that is, look, I understand the reach I have. And if I shit on a place, if I do something, if I tell, what I really think a place when it's bad, that's going to be very negative for that place. I just move on and look for good places that I can celebrate.
And that's exactly why I do my due diligence like crazy. Because, one of the things that you always hear is support small business. I'm actually not a believer in that. I do believe it in an extent, but just because you're a small business owner doesn't mean you're a good person.
If you suck, maybe you shouldn't be in business.
And not only that, but how many times, like, if you that's why I try to Google every single owner that I can, because next thing you know, it's like you Google somebody, and it's like, oh, this person, has been in jail 2 times. This person has sexually assaulted employees. And, yes, they're a small business owner, but like sometimes I think we in the United States just get into the mindset of support small business, and we just look at it indefinitely, where I think there needs to be, I try to do a little bit of due diligence. Like I try to look at, are these people good people? And again, I'm not perfect. And publicly there's only so much information you can find. Like, are these people good people? Like, have they not committed any crimes or anything?
They're not felons.
Exactly. Do they have a couple referrals? Like, are they highly rated on, are they in any lists? Like, to get below 4 stars on Google in Houston is incredibly hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Explain.
Every single restaurant that I look up, if it's not a chain, it is so hard to get below 4 stars.
Is that manipulated?
I don't know, but at least from my research, if you look at every small independent restaurant, like I'd encourage you just to go through every small business in the Houston area that's like not related to a chain. 90% of them will be above 4 stars. I can't prove that. This is all anecdotal, but I don't know if it's gamified. It could be, but I think that's true.
I think you almost rate it between like 3.5 and 5 because it's so rare it goes below that. You're kind of just depending on how good it is in just that range of 2 numbers almost between like 4 and 5 or 3.5 and 5 because
first off, I never rate, but I would just assume that people are so nasty that they would. Yeah, people are nasty.
I feel like the most common are probably 1 stars
haters.
Or 5 stars. Like you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that, and I will look at that. Since you're talking about the Google rankings, it made me think. How influential do you think the Chronicle ratings are, and how accurate do you think they are?
Yes. So to be full disclosure, I have worked as a freelancer with the Houston Chronicle on the side, so I just do want to make that clear. So what I would say is I think Bao does a pretty solid job. Bao is the
new person.
Yeah, Houston Chronicle's restaurant critic, because I think he showcases everything in Houston. Like if I was to build a top 100 list, I think he did a pretty solid job of like representing all aspects of Houston. They put Aga's. I don't know if you've been. I'm sure you've been to Aga's.
I don't know if I have.
I haven't heard of it.
So Aga's is one of Houston's most iconic restaurants. Like in the South Asian community, it is considered one of the like.
How do you spell that? AUGAS.
AGA apostrophe S.
Okay, Aga's. Okay, got it.
And it's like when you walk in on a weekend, it almost feels like a wedding banquet hall. Like you were talking. I don't know how much in revenue they do a year. Like Taste of Texas, I think they
must be the number 1.
Yeah, I think they're top 10 in the country. They do almost 30 million in annual revenue. I think Aga's probably does 15, 20 million is my guess, if not more. With catering, definitely over 20. But just don't go there on a weekend.
How do you rank Aga's versus how he ranked it?
No, Aga's is incredible. Like Aga's is objectively like it's a Houston classic. It is one of like the restaurants Houston is known for. In fact, when the Michelin Guide came to Houston a couple of years ago, a lot of people were like, kind of bummed that, Aga's wasn't on the list. And I think it could be one of those where since it's so iconic, it might eventually make that the Michelin Guide in a few years. But it is truly iconic. I think they wanted to make a splash because the Michelin Guide is, they have their focus of these like really nice, high fine dining restaurants. And I think what the Houston Chronicle, and again, I'm not speaking on behalf of the Houston Chronicle, what I think they did was they wanted to go the opposite direction of giving recognition to a lot of the restaurants that maybe weren't on the Michelin Guide.
Weren't on the guide, but are still really good.
Still really good, yeah.
So since you've mentioned that, I'm sorry, I got so many things, but Aga's is not something I'm familiar with. What are the other restaurants like that in this city that I should check out?
I actually went with Bao to Nam Giao. So they specialize in Central Vietnamese food. And I'm ashamed to admit this just because we live in Houston. Vietnamese cuisine is one of my like weaker cuisines that I just haven't explored as much in the Houston area. But Nam Giao is the only Vietnamese restaurant on the Michelin Guide. It's one of Bao's favorite restaurants in the city. And they just are so well priced. Like you can go there and we got this massive platter of food for maybe like $60. And I'm talking, it was enough food for probably 4 or 5 people. Like it is one of those like meals that, yeah, it's iconic to Houston. I think they put them as like number 23 or number 24 in the Houston Chronicle Top 100 as well.
So you like the top 100 list on Houston Chronicle?
I think.
Did they leave anybody out that you think they should have included?
No, I was actually very happy with their list. I thought they added, everyone that really deserved to be on there. And one of the tough parts is like, year to year, especially if you're building a top 100 list, like what do you do? Because a lot of these restaurants are maintaining the same quality. They are doing a great job. And it's like, who do you leave out? Who do you not put in? It is a tough ranking to create. Like I've thought about creating my own top 100 list, and it is just so difficult because I alone can't do that, in my opinion. I think if one person was to create a top 100 list, I actually wouldn't trust them just because I feel like restaurants, like chefs change, service change, owners change. Like it can be just so difficult. So I like that they have a team of 4 or 5 that are constantly going out and trying new stuff.
Do they have 4 or 5 at the Chronicle?
Yeah, like on their food team, they have 4 or 5 members. Yeah.
Huh, I did not know that. And you got just you. You're just out there doing your thing, man.
It's tough because
I think you get more views than them.
Oh no, they like again, it's tough to, especially on the media side of things, right? Like I've been on a couple like local shows, and I've always been curious. I was like, how many views do the local TV shows actually get in town?
Yeah.
Just because with our stuff, you can go on my videos and you can see all the public views.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered, like, is that the case for all these, like, are they getting 500 views a show? Or are they getting like 10,000? Are they getting 100,000? I just don't know. I know they have background, like, databases and stuff.
I'm sure they know that, but I mean, I can look at Instagram and I can see how many views that my videos get. I can look at yours, and I can look at theirs, and I know that they don't get a lot of views on Instagram.
So this is one, I'm curious what you think. This is one that pisses me off, where I can't stand people who like fake or buy views or buy followers. That's one of the things. Like there's actually not many in Houston that do that. I would argue, but like I've gotten good at telling an influencer, like I can tell if they're a bullshitter or if they're real immediately just by looking at their account. Because it's one of the things that makes me mad, because let's say you're a small business owner, right? Like there are so many components of your business that you're running. And like, I'm not saying just to food, I'm saying products, everything. And imagine like, you think somebody has 1 million followers and you pay them like an extraordinary amount, and that just goes down the drain. So I think like,
how do you check? How do you know?
It's just like,
do you look at like their post and see they don't have any likes, but they have 1 million followers? Or do you look, how do you?
Yeah. If someone like in Instagram and TikTok, like social media is becoming harder and harder just because the competition is getting like more fierce. Like there's just more entrants in there. But like if somebody has 1 million followers and they're getting like 5,000 views, Bullshit. They only have like 1 or 2 comments. I mean, again, sometimes like content just doesn't, do well, but like a lot of times it's just some of these like, and again, they've kind of cracked down more on those, like TikTok. It is really hard to like be a scammer, I think, on TikTok, but and Instagram, like people will find out. But if you have 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares, like, yeah, you're.
What is your favorite platform? I know you're across all of them, but what's your favorite one?
Favorite is tough. I would say where I find out the most amount of information is Instagram.
Okay.
Like a lot of the collaboration dinners, a lot of chefs, a lot of what I would say is not like most people will post on Instagram. Like, just everyday people will go on there, post a story, make a post. That's not the case for TikTok. Like no one is on TikTok posting, video 30 seconds, that's too much work. So I enjoy Instagram for consuming, just in terms of like finding food spots, finding things to do. But TikTok's algorithm is just like crazy good. Like I am like, I even tell my little cousins, like my family members, I'm like, be careful about TikTok. Like they'll know you so well, they'll like keep you on there. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this, but how do you choose who you're going to review?
Yeah.
Just based on the chef friends you know and word of mouth, or
chef friends, lists, like, even the Michelin Guide, last year, like they had gone to some spots that I was intrigued by. And a lot of times it's just like you get a lot of messages, right? Like if you see something that has nothing, like right now there's this like focaccia place in Humble that I just really want to try. Because I posted a threads. I was like, hey, what are some under the radar spots that I should go to? I genuinely read every message I get. On Instagram, on TikTok, I read every message. Somebody gives me a restaurant recommendation, I will look it up. I'll see, if a place is like, on Google, like if I look up a place and it has like 3 stars on Google in Houston, chances are, you probably don't want to go there. And then Google is just one mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Like I look up places on Google Maps, I search them, in ChatGPT, I look up like, okay, what is their story? Like if somebody like went to culinary school in Paris, moved to Houston, and like, for some reason they're just not good at getting their word out, that's a hidden gem. That's somebody that you can find. And like, I just ask people all the time, where should I go? Where should I go? And I'll just sift through those lists. Like, okay, this looks good. This doesn't. What's the background? I actually think more restaurants should do that. They should post more about their story, just because like, you just look up a place and it's just like, is this just somebody random just cooking in the back? Or is this somebody with actual experience, gone to culinary school, worked at a lot of restaurants? And I feel like more restaurants should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody has a restaurant they want you to review, they should just message you?
Yep. I read.
Watch out. Be careful.
No, Tony, I read every single message that I get, like genuinely every message.
Do you follow the same format every time when you do the review? Do you have any sort of format, or you just kind of just do it how you think it should be done?
Yeah, like during work, like I try to be as efficient with it as possible. So when I'm going into a place, I try to know what I want to order just by looking at their menu beforehand, just to be efficient with it. A lot of times I'll ask like the servers, like, hey, what should I get? What do you recommend seasonally? Because they're, like the servers know the kitchen, they know the back, they know what's working, what's not. I also try to look at the seasonality of dishes, right? Like if a certain food is more in season, like that's something that you want to order. But I also use a ChatGPT. Like I'll search on ChatGPT and Gemini every day. Like what are 5 stories in Houston related to food, bakeries, cocktail bars. And then every morning I'll just do that and I'll just try to see if there's anything interesting out there. And
you need a research assistant.
Yeah, no, it's that's what I need. Yeah, it's.
Let me pitch an idea to you. There was a young man.
Yeah.
Actually, your age.
Yeah.
Good looking young man.
Yeah.
Law school guy. He had this idea that he was going to start a food show called Taste Buds. But he could never find a bud.
So it was Taste Bud.
It was Taste Bud, singular, but he's looking for a bud.
Looking for a second guy.
What happened to your show, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Never got off the ground. Kind of a failure to launch situation.
I can tell you that I also had a food show that was like really spinning up pretty hard right at when COVID hit, and it just went to shit.
Yeah, COVID's the reason that didn't get off the ground.
So that's why we also admire you so much is because you have stuck with it and have developed a great following, and I can tell you're passionate about it.
Yeah. No, I genuinely mean this. Like Tony, I want Houston to be the best food city on earth. Like
do you believe it is?
No.
What do you think is?
I don't think we're top 5 in the U.S. personally. I think New York's a better food city. LA's a better food city. New Orleans is a better food city.
You're going to catch a lot of shit for this, Shawn. But
no, that's fine. I'm not one of those like I kind of treat myself as like a parent. I'm not just gonna. Hey, you're the kid. You can eat whatever you want for Halloween. Like I'm not gonna be the person. I want to be honest because I want Houston to get better and better.
Okay, I heard you say New York. I heard you say L.A.
Yeah,
New Orleans.
Okay. I can live with New Orleans and New York. L.A.
San Francisco. I think San Francisco. Like I mean, they're
Chicago.
Asian. Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
So if all 5 of them you believe are better than Houston food scene.
Yes.
It's the best in Texas.
The best. Yeah. I mean, Houston is the best in Texas. In my opinion.
Have you spent any time in Dallas?
I have a little bit here and there. I feel like Dallas taste buds are very similar to Miami and New York City just because it's a big financial center. So I feel like all the second and third locations of all the big chains in like New York open up there.
That's where they go. Yeah.
I think Houston has massive potential. Like I don't know if you do you know who Francis Suarez is, the mayor of Miami?
Yeah. He's kind of he's a popular mayor. Cool guy.
So Francis Suarez, and this is what he did with tech during COVID in 2020, 2021, with San Francisco, with California shutting down pretty hardcore. I think he saw an opportunity to bring a lot of like tech companies. So what he did was he would literally just go on Twitter and he would just tweet at, Twitter founders. Big tech founders.
Yeah.
He's like, come through to Miami. He's like, we have a great scene here, everything. And, he set up policies to make it a great tech city. And that's why we, see Miami popping off so much with, a lot of New York companies, a lot of venture capitalists moving there. It's also, you're on the beach. It's where a lot of these people want to live.
Tax scene's better, et cetera.
But I actually think if I was mayor of Houston tomorrow, that's what I would do.
All right. Well, wait a minute now. You're going to have your chance because he was sat right in that chair. You can tell him exactly what you would do.
Yeah. So here's what
if you're the mayor of Houston and you thought you want to improve the food scene and the potential's there, tell him what you would do.
So, I mean, but I think my point was with the other cities, like all these other cities have identities, right? Like LA is the Hollywood city. Miami is like, that's like Latin culture, central. New York, the city that never sleeps. Like, I feel like all these cities have amazing identities. And Houston is like, every time I talk to people about Houston outside of town, they're like, oh yeah, you guys have good food. That's the first thing people always say. Like, I've always heard y'all are an underrated food city. So I feel like we should delve into that. We should go into that more and be like, hey, why not be the best food city on earth? Like if I was here, I would do like the biggest complaint I get around restaurant owners and small businesses around town, permitting. A lot of these places, like if they could open faster, if you could do 1 to 3 day permitting, like imagine your return on investment. Like people could just come here, open a restaurant in a few days or something like that. Like that'd be insane. Another thing I would do is I'd go to places like Mexico City, Mumbai, Paris. I would recruit. There's a lot of these visas that you can utilize to your benefit. I would literally just tweet at chefs, various hospitality groups, be like, hey, come through to Houston. We're a great food city. Why not open up your second, third location here? Why not try a new concept out here?
Have we ever in the city of Houston branded ourselves as a food city in any respect?
I think that's what they did by bringing in the Michelin Guide, but that was a partnership with Texas as well, where it's like 5 other cities across Texas. I would lean more into that. Like, we have the money here. If you look at all the 1 Michelin star restaurants, I don't know how many you've been to, Tony, but like they're all full.
Yeah.
Have you been to Katami or Katarabata?
Of course, yes, all the time.
So Chef Hori just opened up Sushi Horiuchi.
I know. I can't get in there. Have you been in there?
I can't get in there.
What is it? 5 tables or five spots, 6 spots?
It's only 6 spots, but this is a $300 tasting menu and it's booked out. I checked this morning.
Like 6 months, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, so they only open up the reservations, up a month ahead
on a Tuesday or something. Tuesday. It's not really weird.
Yeah, I feel like you should get one of your assistants just to like sit there and just do that.
Well, I was like, he would just call us and tell us to come on in. That's what I want.
He's too popular. I think, and what I mean by that is, JJ Watt he tweeted out a couple of years ago that Katami was his favorite restaurant in the world. So I think he has a lot of people like that. But
so we're not going to get any special favors there.
But what I mean is like, you have these high, like when people come to Houston, I don't want them to open up another steakhouse. Like I want them to open up these like tasting menus, like Musafir, right? Musafir is a Indian tasting menu.
You like that place?
I like it. Funny enough, a lot of these places, they actually get a lot of flack, not from the surrounding Houston community, not from the chef community, but they get it from their own diasporas, right? Oh, you're charging $200, $150 for a tasting menu. Oh, this isn't real, this isn't real Indian food. Like, that's something that you heard from people all around town. And, Musafir is one of the only 4 Michelin star Indian restaurants in the US. But what I'm saying is like, we have this identity as Houston as a food city, underrated food city. And I personally think it's embarrassing that Austin, a city that is 5 times smaller, has more restaurants in the Michelin Guide than Houston does.
I agree with that.
We should lean into this. And, I think more people more of our politicians should have more ambition for Houston.
Well, I'll tell you, I asked, we spent some time on this with the mayor.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing him because I think he's doing a good job, but I don't think the food scene, certainly not on his radar. Ask him because we like to know what's the best steak. We like to know the best prime rib. We want to know the best sushi. We want to know what's the best. This city is 600 or more square miles. That's just the city. And then of course, lots of restaurants outside the city. We asked the mayor, what's your favorite restaurant? He said Barbecue Inn. Now, I don't know if that's a good restaurant or not. I'm sure it is a good restaurant, but I don't think he's really in tune. Again, everything I say, I feel like I'm criticizing. I don't mean to.
By the way, same on my end. I'm not criticizing the city. I'm just saying, like, this is what I would do.
I think when I ran for mayor of this city, one of the things I said is, why in a city with the kind of chefs we have and the food scene we have, why is Michelin not rating our city? Why is that? And of course, it took. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the reason behind it, but I was definitely talking about it.
5 years ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I was ahead of the curve, and it finally happened. And then we got, we saw who was rated and who was recommended, and we saw the people that got the stars, and I'm disappointed.
I will say though, if you talk to all the chefs around town, if you talk to a lot of the restaurant owners, Michelin is what they care about. Like it is their Emmys.
It's the gold standard.
Yeah, it is, and that's what they want. And I think that's why it was so important that it was brought in. So now, like chefs, it's something that they've always wanted. Now they get international recognition. One thing I will point out is you'll notice there were a lot of restaurant closings over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think one on the Michelin Guide closed down. And it just proves that, like, when people are traveling internationally, like a lot of people think this is just like what I'm thinking. Michelin Guide has its own customers. I don't think their target audience is Houston. It's their people that are using their guide all around the world to travel to spots. And that's who they're targeting. And there's a lot of wealthy people coming to Houston on business, and they want to go to a lot of these Michelin spots. So I think
BCN is a good example. So BCN, Nacho and his wife who started that, there was a chef who was working at a house that they rented in Spain, and he convinced that chef to come to Houston to open that restaurant, and they got a star. Obviously, many years later, 6 years later, whatever it was. But I was with him the other night, and I was like, "So how many Michelin star chefs are there in Spain?" He's like, "Probably a whole lot of them that just hasn't had their opportunity." And to get that kind of recognition, his restaurant is off the charts. I mean, it was always busy, but it's busy, and Michelin makes a difference. And I like the fact that it celebrates people's effort and their attention to detail and all that. I really like that.
By the way, I know, Tony, you said you wanted to start your own restaurant. I actually think it would be cool for somebody like you, or I know Tillman, by the way, Post Oak is incredible. It's the only hotel in like Texas to have a double 5-star by Forbes. I feel like it'd be cool for y'all to like start like this like hospitality fund. This is just me advocating a little bit, because one thing you'll notice is I think I can prove this, is that most of the Michelin restaurants around town are funded by relatively wealthy people in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like BCN, I think the founder, I think he was a former energy executive.
Yep.
The owners of March, Rosie Cannonball, Marigold Club.
She lives right over there.
Relatively well off. The owner of Maximo is Benji. He owns Local Foods Group.
Okay.
So if you go through the ownership group of like 50, 75% of the Michelin restaurants, these are relatively well off people.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tatamo is the only 1-star Michelin Mexican restaurant in Houston. They, I think, I was reading an article that him and his co-founder only started it off with $10,000 each.
Oh wow!
But like, if I was somebody like I wanted to start a restaurant or something, I would approach somebody like them and be like, hey, if you want to start like another concept, like the funding's here, and people in Houston. They want to own a part of a restaurant. Like I've talked to, people around town. They don't care about if they lose money on it or not. It's just, they just want to say
a vanity project.
Yeah. It's like, it's so funny. I know you don't drink, but there's a cocktail bar called Melrose. And I met the owner the other day, and I was like, do you know blah, blah, blah? I was like, they told me they're an owner. I'm like, that person's not an owner. And I was like, people are just pretending that they're like owners of bars.
Well, you heard it here first. I own 7 restaurants now.
But like, it's just, I think there's a real opportunity. And that's why I think Miami, got such an influx of so many of these like restaurants, was because you had just so much wealth coming from New York and tech and same thing with Austin, that they're just willing, if you're a billionaire, you're ultra high net worth individual, just throw 100,000, 250,000. And that's why you're seeing all these Michelin restaurants pop up where all these kind of
Wouldn't it be great if we had a lot of Michelin stars in the city of Houston? Wouldn't that be something?
Be awesome. I'm telling you. Mayor Whitmer, I mean, the city of Houston can lean into that.
Have you ever been to a Michelin, either, was it recommended? What is it? How do you call it? Recommended or, I know obviously we got 1 stars, but ever been to one that was no good that you didn't like?
I actually don't recommend, like 1 Michelin star restaurants to like 70, 80% of people. Like even my own parents, I don't recommend it.
Because of the cost?
No, not necessarily cost. It's just like when you're there, like, a lot of people, they, unless you're a big foodie, they don't want to go through the storytelling. They don't want to go through a 4-hour dinner. They just want to eat. They want to have a good time with their family. And that's why even the 1 Michelin star restaurants around town, if you're having a business meeting, like if you were, meeting with a client, you're selling a company, I would not recommend a 1 Michelin star restaurant or even like the stars, because you need to be fully, it's like, you want to be fully immersed. You want to get your value out of it. But I have been to a lot of the Michelin Bib Gourmand and Michelin Recommended, and that's where I think that's where it's a lot of fun. Like Maximo, where you're going tomorrow night, that's on the Michelin Bib Gourmand list. And that like $45 tasting menu, I'd say splurge a little bit more, try some of their other stuff. But I mean, that's where I think they do the best job. That's my favorite spots.
Do you tell the restaurants when you're going to review them that you're coming?
Nah, 99% of the time, no.
You just show up.
Honestly, and it's not even because, I don't want to or, prepared. It's just my scheduling, right? Like, I don't know where I'm going day to day.
Do they recognize you when you show up?
I'd say in Houston now, 85, 90% of the time, yes. Like, but to be fair, if I'm out and about in the town, I would say I get recognized about 10 to 40 times a day.
So if an owner sees you come in and eat at her restaurant or his restaurant, and you don't review it, what does that tell them?
Well, I will give another scenario. I had a couple friends visiting from out of town, and I just wanted to eat out for fun, right? Yeah. Like, and because sometimes I just want to eat out with my family, or just want to eat out for, with friends. And so what I try to do is, in those cases, I'll try to go to spots that I already know. I refuse to go to a new spot, because then it becomes all is like they start bringing out the works, like they all like I went out with, a couple of my friends were visiting from Dubai, and they picked the restaurant. I didn't. And we just went to this place, and they started bringing out extra steak, extra sushi and everything. And I like literally went to the waiter and I was like, hey, just so you know, like I'm literally just here for like just eating dinner with my friends. Like, like there's no like, I don't want to tip $100 extra. Like I was like, I'm just chilling with my friends. Like, and that happens to a lot of meals as well. That's what I've learned. I was like, if I'm going out with family or friends, I try to go to spots I've already been to multiple times.
And where would you take your families and friends?
I have some favorite spots around town. A spot that I haven't posted. This is a cocktail bar. My friends and I we'll go to Permission a lot. By the way, Dana White was there last night. Really? I'm actually kind of mad because I was like, man, my friends and I were supposed to go there last night. Like Dana White
was last night.
The UFC.
Was tonight? Okay,
yes, he's in town.
So the fight's tonight.
Okay, that makes sense because he was at Permission. But like, one place I love to go to is Tacos Doña Elena. I know it sounds really basic, but like my friends and I will just go to Chewy's.
What's wrong with Chewy's? I like Chewy's.
And that's what I mean. It's like I just like to go to like chains sometimes because. Do
you go to Escalante's?
Oh no, I haven't. I haven't been to Escalante's.
I think Chewy's is a little more like rough and tumble. Escalante tries to be a little more like.
Escalante is a little bit more upscale.
Is it?
I think Chewy's.
I like Chewy's better though.
Chewy's has the best nachos in town.
I love Chewy's. So yeah.
Get their chicka chicka boom boom.
Where else do you go?
I go to Chewy's. I love Papacitos. And I actually think that's why.
Are you like a Mexican food, Tex-Mex a lot?
I love eating out for Tex-Mex. And honestly, when I'm at home, because I don't want to gain too much weight, because even today I haven't eaten today. I've only had 2.
Are you going to a restaurant tonight?
For fun. I was supposed to grab dinner with a friend, but it unfortunately got canceled. So now I might just go to a random spot. I'm still debating. I mean, we're in the River Oaks area, so probably.
Have you done Guacamo's? The Italian place right up here.
Oh, Giacomo's. I love Giacomo's.
I call it Guacamo's.
Oh, no.
Have you reviewed it?
Oh, I love Giacomo's. Yeah.
Have you reviewed it?
Yeah. I went at 4 p.m. like on a random day. I love their patio. Such a beautiful
Have
day.
you done Relish?
No, I haven't been to Relish. But I'm solo dining tonight too. So that's why.
Have you been to
Armando's?
Of course, you've been to Armando's.
No, I haven't. What's Armando's?
Oh, come on, man! You go on a Thursday night, you can dance too.
Yeah, okay.
Armando's is cool.
Let me tell you what happens on Thursday night at Armando's.
Yeah,
you're in there, you're eating, you're having your Tex-Mex, which is a little different kind of Tex-Mex. It's not like your normal Southwestern Tex-Mex. And then all of a sudden they start moving the tables out of the way. You're like, what the fuck's happening? About 10 o'clock, they turn on the disco music. Everybody starts dancing. Pretty kick ass.
Only on Thursdays, but it's
only
cool.
on Thursdays. Yeah. It's good. It smells a little musty in there. Yeah. Have you noticed?
It's kind of dark and
musty. Yeah, it's kind of dark and musty. What is the place in that shopping center with Armando's? The place that he opened one out in the Brenham area, Round Top.
Lulu's.
Lulu's. Have you been to Lulu's?
No, I haven't seen. I'm learning about all these. This is how I learn about spots. I love talking to people about.
Have you been to Doris Metropolitan?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because all of these are within like a rock's throw from here.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
I was actually thinking about going to Kira tonight because I got to keep the calories low.
Okay.
Have you been to Kira?
Have we?
I don't think so.
Maybe I have.
What is it?
Can't remember.
It's a sushi spot. So it's started by the same crew that owns Neo. And Neo's kind of closed down right now. They're renovating. But it's like their casual restaurant. Like it's like a hand roll bar / like donburi bowls.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it.
You're fine.
You tell me what you decide.
No.
I'll tell you the best sushi place in town. I know you mentioned Katarabata. I know you mentioned Katami, which I love both of them. I go to Katami once a week.
Dang.
And I go to La Griglia probably once a day.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they're right next to each other. Yeah. And I was going to say, if you tell the chef that you and I can sit outside that little room, if he can feed 8 people instead of 6, I'd be very happy. But lay that aside. I got off track. What was I going to say?
Your favorite sushi spot?
Oh, those are good. Katarabata, MF Sushi, Katami's good. But the place, I don't know if you've reviewed. Have you reviewed Hachi?
Oh no, it's the one at the Galleria. So I've been there just randomly eating out. I had a really good experience.
It is good.
I need to go back.
It is good. Yeah. And then another one that's really good. We've eaten there probably 1,000 times.
Probably 1,000.
Is downtown. It's
Chef
called
Bravery Hall. Kokoro.
I got a funny story about Kokoro. Okay. That's where you followed me. I was like, when I posted Kokoro, you followed me another, literally the same day.
Oh, really?
And, I recently learned that they have a Dubai restaurant.
Kokoro does?
Yeah, they have a restaurant in Dubai.
Oh, wow. They're good.
So they just got named as one of the top 50 restaurants, in North Africa, the Middle East.
Really?
I'm not kidding. And I'll be honest, I was looking at their photos because I think the owner went there a couple weeks ago. They were showing them. I was like, man, that is some good looking nigiri. That is insane.
I still think the best. I don't like a lot of rice. Yeah. Obviously nigiri has rice, but Hachi, is that what I call it?
Yeah,
Hachi. I think that's the best sushi in town at the moment.
Okay.
At the moment,
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a video on there, and I'll be like, Tony Busby sent me here.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I for lunch when there's not a lot of people around, it is the chef is really super cool. Yeah. He's an owner chef. He's there doing this deal. He's really good. But anyway, back to where we were. What are some other places nearby here?
Nearby here, you kind of named them all. Doris, Armando.
Doris is a steak restaurant. We went and reviewed it, and we probably gave it a.
We've been doing steak reviews lately. We were.
What's y'all's favorite steakhouse in town?
Papa's,
but
only the one outside the loop.
On Westheimer?
Yeah. The one downtown is a. We also did. We were doing prime rib reviews.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 prime rib spots in the whole city.
Yeah.
If you could, so it's hard to believe and so we went to. Of course, I represented Perry's, and I had to talk shit about them. And we went to
there was
B&B Butchers,
B&B Butchers, J. Alexander. Yeah, I think that was it for prime.
Pretty much it. Yeah. There's not a lot, but anyway, I look forward to hearing what you say about Hachi, and they're going to be really super stoked if you go in there and do a review on them.
Yeah,
I don't know. I only know them just from being in there. So
no, all good. One thing I'm curious your opinion on. What do you think the next trend is? And this is getting a little bit away from food. What do you think is on the rise? I think coffee shops are really in the rise in the Houston area and the United States overall.
Totally agree with that.
Because I think Gen Z millennials are drinking less than ever.
Totally.
And so I'm trying to figure out what are these new third spaces that are going to pop up. And I spend I work at a different coffee shop every day, and I think coffee shops they're just increasing like crazy in the Houston area.
I used to live in Friendswood, and there was not a place for people to lounge and to have coffee. There wasn't a Starbucks there at the time. And we went to multiple places across the country with various franchises, and we ultimately went to Minneapolis, and we did a Dunn Bros franchise. We put it in Friendswood, and we doubled the size of what it typically would be. We put a big back patio, and it was full all the time. And at some point we had a falling out with the franchisor because we would go out and get fresh burritos and breakfast tacos. Of course, it wasn't on their POS system and they didn't like that. And we wanted to serve alcohol in the back in the afternoons. They didn't like that. So eventually I just sold it back to them. But I figured out when I was getting ready to do that, and when I went to city council, they said, nobody's, you're never going to be able, a coffee shop won't make any money. They had all these reasons why it wouldn't work. And we're talking about 10 years ago. Now, fast forward 10 years, a lot of people don't go to the office. A lot of people work like that. They go to here, they go there. Frances, my wife, she spends almost her entire day in some coffee shop around the city doing the work that she does. And she knows all the good places. And she's always looking for, a place that has good coffee, of course, and a good place to sit and good Wi-Fi and, a nice, and something healthy. And I think you're right. Those are very hot.
Because it does worry me. Like, the trend, the last 10 years, I used to think like, people aren't drinking anymore. That's a great trend, right? Like, I think like people are getting healthier or whatever. But I think it naturally, because the U.S. just, bars were our third spaces. Like that's where a lot of people hung out.
Of course.
And so now I think we're in this in-between phase of like, you have a lot of people that don't drink. People need to spend their time outside, nights, doing stuff, whatever. And that's why I think like you're going to continue to see coffee shops on the rise. Like there's so many, like every single coffee shop in town is doing a lot of events. And I also think Houston is primed for more boutique hotels. Like, have you been to Hotel St. Augustine yet? Like a place like Hotel St. Augustine, Hotel Daphne, their sister hotel just opened up in the Heights. I think places like that, that's actually one weakness that I think Houston has relative to a place like Austin or Dallas is like our hotels need to be stepped up even a bit more.
Yeah. So you think that Houston is top 10 in food in the country, but not top 5?
And I'm tired of the word underrated. This is controversial. I don't think we're an underrated food city because we are the 4th largest city in the US. We should be a top 5 food city. Like I don't think that should be a debate. Like when people are like, oh, Houston's an underrated food city. I was like, no, I actually think we're like perfectly rated / like maybe even slightly overrated as a food city because with our population
Did you
size,
hear what he said? He just said Houston's an overrated food city.
Slightly.
We're going to make a headline here.
But that's what I mean. I was like, we should be matching our population size. Like it is, I still think, and I know the Michelin Guide isn't like the say all be all. I think where our strength is as Houston is we have just a lot of good overall spots. It's like, when you have a football team, we may not have, or let's say basketball instead. Like we may not have like a Kevin Durant, we might not have a superstar, but we have a strong bench. Like we have.
Well, name the best 10 restaurants in town.
That's a tough one. Okay, so top 10 of my favorites right now. Place called Basso.
Okay,
Love Basso. Love Maximo, where you're going tomorrow night. And give me an honest thought.
I will.
I love Belly of the Beast in spring. So Chef Thomas, he was just named the best chef by the James Beard Foundation in Texas last year. Incredible. I think so he is, he does Mexican cuisine, but he adds in global influences. Like he even told us, he's like, he wants his restaurant just to like, whatever he wants to cook, he wants to cook.
Why is he in Spring?
That's where his family and everything is.
It's too damn far for me to go.
I'm telling you, it's worth the drive.
All right.
You got to go.
All right. That's Belly the Beast.
Belly the Beast. I'm really loving, man, is it cool if I pull out my phone?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Do you like Kuchara?
I like Kuchara. I wouldn't put them in like my top 10, but I like Kuchara.
Do you like Hugo's?
Hugo's. I'm ashamed to admit this. Don't kill me. I have not been to Hugo's yet. Okay. I need to go on their Sunday.
It's close. It's not far.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like marigolds?
I like marigolds. Oh man, okay. I wrote this down because I knew this question was going to come up.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I said Basso. I said Maximo. I said Belly of the Beast. I think one place that everybody should visit when they're visiting Houston, and the reason why I'm putting them in their top 10 is because we're Tex-Mex, we're in Houston, Candente.
Candente. Do you know? Have you been there?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've been.
Okay.
So I've loved them for years.
Why is it great?
So basically, they're a Tex-Mex spot. They're the only Tex-Mex spot in Houston on the Michelin Guide. I know I'm mentioning the Michelin Guide. I've loved them for 3-4 years. I think they have the best nachos in town, by the way. I know. I love
Is it on Richmond?
It's
or Alabama maybe.
See, I don't even know streets in the city. I just go by. It's by the Museum of Fine Arts,
And it's like by the pit room.
Yeah, it's right next door to the pit room. So,
Okay, I know what it is.
So it's the same owner, and essentially what they do is they get all their meat from the pit room because it's the same owner, it's the same operation, and they just combine it like all this incredible meat with like they have some of the best fajitas in town, if not the best fajitas. So
Okay,
I would,
all right, that's okay. I'll give that a shot.
give them a shot. And then I'm gonna say Nam Jiao, just because we're a Vietnamese, we have such a large Vietnamese population. Incredible food there. Papa Steakhouse. I feel like you just
One outside the loop.
on Westheimer.
Have you done the one inside the loop down downtown?
I haven't been to the one on downtown, and that's because I did my research. I asked around. Everybody said the one on Westheimer, and
Definitely the best.
And then this one might be out of the left field. It might not be considered like a restaurant, but I think if somebody is visiting Houston, they need to get a kolache, right? Like if you talk to people around the U.S., they're like, oh, like what's a kolache? They don't know what a kolache is, and so I actually recommend it's a little bit, a little bit further away. It's on the east side. Go to the original kolache shop. They've been around since the 1950s. It's still ran by the same family. They have the best kolaches in town.
I saw your video on that.
The original kolache shop.
Original kolache shop. And if people are visiting Houston and they don't want to, drive around that far, because, somebody's visiting Houston, I think they should just they have 3 locations. It's just the kolache shop. I don't know if you've been there. They have one of the Heights. They just opened up one on I-10 by the pit room, and they have a third one. But they're like the best kolache chain in my opinion. Chop and Block, just because, like I'm talking like they specialize in West African food. Have you been to Chop and Block yet?
No.
So Chop and Block is in Montrose. Go during a weekday. Don't go during a weekend. Go during a weekday, and they serve West African food. Like the owner, his family is from Nigeria. They're from Lagos, I think. And he was just nominated as a semifinalist for the James Beard Foundation.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, it's not going to be anything fancy, but in terms of like, they've made West African food like so popular, and like people travel around when they're visiting Houston. That's one of the places that they go to.
Really?
Chop and Block. Yeah. Check it out.
You writing this down?
Yeah.
And get their first time there, get their golden bowl. Okay. And I'm going to give you a tip. They have, I think it's they have this dessert. It's their only dessert bread. Don't order any appetizer. Get their dessert at their end. I think it's like their plantain bread, and order some chicken bites. Like order their chicken bites appetizer with it, and it is just so crispy. It tastes like chicken and waffles. I'm telling you. So make sure you do that when you go there. Don't order an appetizer. Just combine the appetizer and dessert at the end. Aga's is iconic. Aga's is iconic.
I'm definitely going there now.
And that's like, I feel like people need to go there. And then when somebody's visiting Houston, they got to get barbecue. And I feel like,
no, you're getting ready to go. You be careful here. Go ahead.
If Corkscrew was within the loop, I would recommend it to everybody in town. But Corkscrew, last time I went, it's like a whole half day kind of event, right? Like you got to get there early. You got to get their number out of their binder. You got to get in line. Like that's why like Corkscrew, if they were just in the loop and they had just a different system, I would say them. But I'd say you can't go wrong with Pinkerton's, Truth, or the Pit Room. One of those 3. If somebody's visiting town, I'd say just hit up one of those 3, whatever's closest to you, and you'll have a good time.
I can get behind that. I like Papa's too, because I like the long beef ribs. I got to eat the long beef ribs. I love that.
Ooh. Corkscrew's towards spring, right?
Yes, it is. It is in spring. Have y'all been there?
Yeah, I did.
I think I've eaten in there, but I don't know how I got it. I don't know if somebody brought it to me or what.
It's a half day event. Like when we went at 9 a.m. because they have a binder from 1 to 50 in the front. We showed up at 9 a.m. We picked up the binder. We were 11th on the list. We went to a coffee shop nearby. We came back at 11. And I'm telling you, if you're not in the top 50 in that line, you're going to be waiting 2-3 hours.
Man, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for food.
That's what I'm saying. You're busy.
Buzz in the big line.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not really a good line guy. Okay, best sushi in town.
Best sushi.
Katarabata.
I'm gonna give love to my friends at Neo. Again, they're closed down right now. Okay. I love Neo. I love Hidenomakase. I love Katami. Throw in Katarabata in that, and I have a feeling Sushi Horiuchi, if I had to make a prediction on a restaurant that would get a 1 Michelin star.
The one we can't get into.
Yeah. But the only reason why I think they're not going to get it is because I don't think the Michelin inspectors are going to be able to get in either. Like,
I hadn't thought about that.
Because they have to go multiple times. At least
they have to go on the QT.
Exactly. And like, it's I'm assuming that they only have a few months left because I think the next Michelin ceremony has to be in October.
Oh, wow.
And so it's going to be tough. It's almost like you're suffering from too much. Chef Horry is suffering from too much success almost.
So steak, you're going to go Papa's outside the loop?
Yep, Papa's.
Any other steakhouse that you like? Are you a steak guy?
So a little bit. I'm starting to get more into steak now, just because. So just so you know, my background. My family is from northern. My grandparents are from northern India. My dad's actually from Utah. Funny enough. So they moved here in like the 80s and like 70s, and so he moved to Utah when he was like 10 years old. But because culturally, they they grew up in India a little bit, they just didn't eat beef that much. So I didn't have like beef until I was like 14, 15 years old. And that was going with my dad's business partner. We just went to like a random like sushi buffet. That's where I first had my beef.
Really?
We like Burger Bodega.
Oh yeah. Abbas is the owner. He's like the OG Houston influencer.
Oh, really?
I don't know if y'all know that story. So he, like 10 years ago, he just was posting pictures of all these like various, like he was the person that you go to. And he's like, again, when you talk about people I follow, he is one of those people, Houston Eats, that like, if he says something, I trust it. Like if he messages me and he's like, you need to go to this spot, like
you go.
Yeah.
That's the owner of Bodega.
Burger Bodega.
Is that the best burger in town though?
So
put you on the spot here.
Biasly, it is a phenomenal burger. I can 100% say that I've eaten there 6-7 times. Like I haven't told him. I've gone with my friends. I've taken family members there. It is one of my favorite burgers. Now, what I will tell you, he has the best Philly cheesesteak in town. Like that
At
one.
Burger Bodega.
So it's
Wasn't that a pop up or something?
It's a pop up, and I hope he does open up a brick and mortar for that because he does it every other Monday. Once every 2 weeks. And if you don't want to wait in line, you don't have to wait in line. Just order in advance. Again, if I was you, actually, I would just have an assistant for food. Just like hire a virtual assistant from somewhere and just be like, oh, your only job is to get reservations.
Tony's favorite cheesesteak is Jersey Mike's.
I had to do Jersey Mike's, but I ate it every day for like 6 weeks in a row.
There was a 2 month span where Tony probably had between 45 and 50 Jersey Mike's Philly cheesesteak sandwiches.
Yeah. Was Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Now, what about the Beck's Prime sandwich?
Well, we're going to get to that because I'm going to hit him with that. But okay, so we did steak. What about pho? Where you like to eat pho? Do you like pho?
I like pho, but honestly, I'll be honest, I just haven't eaten that much pho around town. You can't go wrong with like Pho Ben, right?
Mm-hmm. Pho Ben, Pho Saigon. Have you been to Pho Saigon?
Yeah, Pho Saigon. The one by Montrose, like that's the one I've been to a few times. It's like it's next to one of my favorite coffee shops. It's called Un Cafe. I actually think that's one of the best places to work out of in town. So I know if your wife is looking to go somewhere, that's a spot I'd recommend. Only during a weekday, they get crazy busy on weekends. Yeah. But if she's looking to work out of somewhere, I'd say go there. And
just a good place to lounge and just do your work on your computer and just take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. They do like both signature drinks. Like I'm calling signature drinks like where they kind of mix it up, where they'll throw various syrups in.
Are you a drinker?
I do drink socially. I definitely do. My favorite cocktail bars around town right now are Permission. Again, Permission, in my opinion, is like it's just one of my personal favorites. Mm-hmm. They for the whiskey drinkers out there, they have one of the biggest whiskey.
Are you a whiskey guy?
I'm not. Honestly, when I drink, since I eat out so much, I like to keep the calories as low as possible. And people think I'm a psychopath for this. I just have a vodka water.
Mm-hmm. I would just leave the water out. I used to have just the vodka.
Well, because I got to stay hydrated. But
I didn't really care much about hydration. Plus, I didn't want to dilute my vodka. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So your best burger in town is?
My best burger in town is Austin Simmons. He does these things called Chef and Rancher pop-ups. So essentially, for context, he used to run the most beloved restaurant in the Woodlands. It was called Tris. I personally had never gone.
Yeah. Cool steakhouse in Market Street.
And it closed down. I don't know. He wasn't the owner. He was the executive chef. And I think they closed down just because they were having problems with like the lease, like whoever owned that area. But he started doing these. He started this like ranching company with this. That's why it's called Chef and Rancher. So he's the chef, and I think his business partner is the rancher. And they like raise these cows. I think Joe Rogan has actually, I would fact check me on this, but like I think Joe Rogan says that's like one of his favorite like meat platters that he's ever had.
Really?
By Austin Simmons. And so he does these like burger pop-ups every once in a while. I actually think if you don't want to wait in line, if you don't want to do anything, he does catering as well. So he's like a good person. Like if I would actually recommend if any business in town in Houston, if you're looking to cater somebody, if you just want some nice burgers, just cater him. But
well, give me a place that I can go. No pop-up.
No pop-up. Let me pull up my burger list because it's been 6 months since I've been. I'm ashamed to admit this. I always love Burger Chan.
Yeah, that's the one I remember you saying.
I love Burger Chan. The owners unfortunately are moving away. They brought in another partner. I do love Bex Prime. I know you say you're not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of their burger, but Bex Prime makes the best ribeye steak sandwich that's ever been made in the history of making sandwiches.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll eat that sandwich with a glass of really, really cold milk, and I will go into a different. You're laughing at it. I'm telling the truth. I'll go into a different, like a Zen-like state. It's so good. If you haven't had it, am I wrong?
It's a great.
It's a great sandwich. He found it.
Yeah.
I adopted it.
I fail to eat it. I refuse.
Bex Prime makes a hellacious steak sandwich. Like it will knock your socks off. It is so good.
Okay. That's okay. I will try that. I'll try that within the next couple of weeks.
And I will go back and try their burger again. But as I recall their burger, it's too much meat. I don't like a really thick meat sandwich.
So I think a lot of times, like why restaurants will do that is they just want to make people feel like they're getting the most value possible, especially nowadays. I feel like that's the one thing that you constantly hear. I actually did an inflation calculator on this. I was curious, like from 2000, like, I think from 2000, it's like, if you put $1, it's like $2 now. Food inflation has definitely gone, 5-6 times as much as that. Do
you like a burger that has a bunch of meat in it?
I do.
You even when you get a smash burger, they want to put 2 or 3 patties on there. I just want one. That's all I want.
So I'm actually the same way. So if I'm having a smash burger, I just want one patty. By the way, I just want to say I'm noticing something. It's really funny that's why I think we should lean in more to into the world's greatest food city. Our number 1 billionaire in town is a food guy.
Yes.
Tillman Fertitta.
True.
Our number 1 rapper, Bun B, is a food guy. Is a food guy. And so it's like, I just keep seeing this trend. I'm telling you, we should delve into.
Speaking of him, Bun B, do you like his burger?
Yeah. I like it. So I actually went to their first ever pop-up in 2021. It was the summer. And I'll be transparent. I was fully invited to that pop-up. It was my first 3-4 months getting involved in the food scene. And I support them. I think what they're doing is a great job. And a lot of people, I do want to point out, there's this hate train on Cisco right now. Mm-hmm. But Cisco is like a distributor, right? And that's actually one of the things where all the restaurants in town, they hate how much hate that Cisco's getting, because if you want to source something, Cisco will source it for you.
Yeah, you can. They distribute. They can get whatever you want.
And I know for a fact that Trill Burgers, they use incredibly high quality beef.
Are they getting shit on because they use Cisco or something?
Because when people see Cisco trucks or whatever, people are misinterpreting it as the same Cisco. Because Cisco, of course, goes to Chili's. They highlight, but again, you can go to them and you can be like, "Hey, can you source this for me?"
Oh, I see why people are criticizing, because they're misinformed.
And a lot of restaurants, the reason why they want to go through one of these big distributors is if you have a small spot or whatever, and prices Cisco can take a lot of bullets for a lot of restaurants and a lot of businesses that a lot of smaller spots can't. So they can hold off something for a year, 6 months, a price increase. So that's one thing that chefs always complain to me about in town is they wish Cisco, and this isn't a Cisco ad or anything, I do want to fully disclose that 6 months ago, I did do a Cisco brand deal where I went to Cisco to, again, I just want to be fully transparent.
I don't care,
No, but I just
believe you.
But that's what
how could you do a deal with Cisco?
Oh, how did I?
Yeah, how?
No, they just reached out. They were looking, so they did a competitor where basically, Cisco, it's where you can it's these restaurant depots where you can just go and you can just pick up stuff for your restaurant. You can buy it in bulk. Yeah. And Cisco was getting into that market. And so they opened up one right by NRG Stadium, and the other one is right off I-10. It's right by the pit room, actually, funny enough, around that area. So they just reached out on a brand deal. Because typically now when brands are coming into Houston, I'm one of the like 10 influencers that they'll reach out to.
Really?
So
well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool,
kind of keeps you in the know of what's happening.
And that's how you find out a lot. Find out about what's happening in Houston.
He's got to be our resident expert now.
Yeah, now
he knows. You should like be friends with him.
He's a friend of the pod.
No, you should be a friend of yours. You're the like big foodie.
Sorry, maybe it's my next bud. The second taste bud.
I'm down, man, to come through. But
let me ask you. Do you remember Hubcap Grill?
Yeah.
Is it still around?
There's one Hubcap left. The one downtown still exists.
The one downtown, I used to get the peanut butter burger. Do you ever have that?
No, I've never had Hubcap.
God, man.
It was only 18,000 calories.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. Was what my so I'm going to recommend strongly the steak sandwich from Beck's Prime.
Okay.
And the peanut butter hamburger from Hubcap Grill. God, it's good.
And we won't be offended if you don't eat
No, if you don't like it, you just don't have to say anything.
By the way, I will point out the greatest thing on earth right now is Google Map saves. Like I just love adding something. My entire list is green now.
What about crawfish? What do you like? Do you like crawfish?
I'm actually not a big crawfish person. I'll be very honest there. I like crawfish and noodles. I like Crawfish Cafe. This is something from Chris Shepard that I heard through a pipeline. Again, this isn't a direct quote from him, but I heard from like one or two other people that his favorite crawfish is from a place called Josephine's. So have you been to Josephine's?
We have, but I'm trying to remember if I liked it or not. If I go to crawfish, I go to Floyd's actually.
Floyd's, okay.
Floyd's is a chain. It's a guy. He lives in Brazoria or Galveston County, and I represented him during the oil spill, and so I go there. And Francis likes to go down there, so it's kind of. But I've been to Crawfish and Noodles, and a lot of. I've been to what's the Raging Cajun? I think
Raging Cajun.
His buddy's dad or granddad owns that. But
that's where my family we actually get our Thanksgiving turkey from every year. We get it from Raging Cajun.
Fried turkey or
I can't.
Or do they?
I don't. We change it up every year. I think they did fry it some years, but we would always get our turkey from Raging Cajun. I don't think we did this year though.
Pizza.
Where
do you like pizza?
I got you. So there's a place nearby from here. You've probably been there. It's been around for a while. Pizzeria Solario.
No.
So Pizzeria Solario is it was actually recommended to me by somebody like who is Italian in Houston.
Do you like thin crust pizza? Do you like thick crust pizza? Do you like Detroit? Do you like Chicago? Do you like New York?
I eat everything and I like all kinds.
What is this?
So it is just Neapolitan style pizza.
Okay.
Like Neapolitan style. If you like that, you'll have a good time at Pizzeria Solario's. Tailspin, again, biased, doing a collab with them, but I genuinely think they're top 5 in Houston. When I was in LA, I haven't been to this new location in a couple of years. Pizzana. I used to like Pizzana a lot. I don't know if you guys have.
I've been there a couple of times. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't ride home about it.
Man, I have like 3-4 other places that are on the list. Oh, for this is a far drive. Again, you're gonna hate me for these.
Are you gonna
drives.
say Katie's?
No.
Fuzzies?
No.
Have you been there?
I haven't been to
Fuzzies and Katie.
So funny enough, the guy who one of the guys just reached out to me. And this is how I found out about Tailspin, was I was seated at the bar at Navy Blue. Have you been to Navy Blue, brother?
Yeah.
So I was seated at the bar at Navy Blue, and I meet this like guy next to me. This is how I find out about spots. I'm talking to him for an hour, 2 hours. See me, he's taking a video. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a chef from Utah, whatever. Comes down, like 2 years later, helps open up Tailspin Pizza. He's like, come by to Tailspin. And right now, he like tells me he works at Fuzzies. He's like, you got to come to Fuzzies.
In Katy.
Tony loves
Fuzzies. I love it because their videos. I mean, they even got the governor to come out there. I don't know what they're doing, but I was thinking about, I'm going to send Hall to get me a pizza, but by the time it gets back, it won't be hot anymore. It's too damn far out there.
Yeah, it's far away.
But I like the Chicago deep dish style pizza. I mean, I like thin crust too, but I've just been on a run on that, and there isn't none in Houston other than
Star. I think
Star.
Yeah.
I get Star, and it's good. And that's why I put Star at number 1, even though I know it's not great pizza, but they do have a deep dish pizza that's somewhat deep dish. But Pizziano's.
I like Capone's pizza. That's a kind of.
I've never been to Capone's.
It's a small joint. That's
you like that Detroit pizza too? That Gold Tooth
Tony's.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Gold Tooth for Detroit,
pretty good.
There's another place called. Man, he used to be in Conroe. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's closer, but now he's in Magnolia. He's a food truck. He's super viral on TikTok and Instagram. It's called Toasted Pizza Co. If y'all are looking for pizza, and I'm sure there are some of your listeners that live around that area, But if y'all are looking for pizza, go to Toasted Pizza.
We're always looking for good places to go. I mean, we're always.
We go somewhere for lunch almost every day.
We love to go to new places, but we're pretty hard.
Wait, I think you posted a couple. Did you go to A&M at all? Like, I remember you posted like a couple, like yourself at like a couple games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess next time you're going to, going to College Station or something, just stop by Toasted Pizza Co.
Because if I go outside the loop, I usually have to have like 2 or 3 armed guards. I have to have like
he packs a lunch just to
pack
get
a lunch. I got to prepare in case we don't make it back. There's highwaymen out there. There could be any sort of people out there trying to take my life.
Tony's worried.
Wait, really?
Tony's worried.
I was like, we live in the United States.
We make a joke that I don't like to go outside.
Tony's position, if it's like more than 10 minutes away from his house, they may not have electricity or running water.
Don't know if they have electricity out there. I don't want to go too far.
By the way, Tony, I gotta. So I know you're. Do you like going to Italy? Because I remember you posted like
I'm going this summer too.
I follow all your stories. I was like, so one of my favorite things to do when I'm in Europe, like this is super random. I love getting into arguments in Europe, just like randomly. Because I'll tell you, I'm scared to get into arguments in Houston because you just never know.
No, you get shot.
Yeah, you'll get shot or like you cut somebody off.
Yeah.
But like over there, I'm like, I remember one time like I was just in the line at a bar and some like older lady cuts me and I was like, hey, ma'am, like I was in line or whatever, and she just like shrugs me. And then I'm like, you know what? I was like, nobody has a gun here. I can just cuss them out. Like, and then I love getting into arguments here. I love rage baiting in Europe. Like, I remember there's this one girl. She's like totally unexpected. No, she was like, she's English, and my friends and I we're just chilling at this late night Chinese joint, and like I don't know why I did this. She was nice. She gave us like a chair. And I was like, what part of the States are you from? And she looks at me like with a dirty look. And then I was like, I'm telling you, you should do this next time you're in Italy. Just get into arguments. It is
Why do you think that I look for conflict?
No, yeah, you're a lawyer, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, Tony doesn't need to go to Europe to do that.
No, because I'm a very non-confrontational person.
That's how you strike me, as somebody that's kind of like get along and not like cause any trouble. And you don't even do a negative food review.
Well, that's why like I live by a philosophy. I think Frederick Douglass that said this. He said, work with anybody to do right and work with no one to do wrong. And that's like a philosophy that I try to live life by, is like just in everything. But occasionally, there's nothing wrong with rage baiting.
Every now and then you want to cut loose.
Yeah.
Best tie.
I'm going to say Sao Lau in Garden Oak.
Okay.
She's been around for a long, long time. She's half Laotian, half Thai. She has this, I forgot what the soup's called, but it is iconic. You have just when you go there, just be like, hey, get this soup. And then the other one is Street to Kitchen. I feel like
I like that. Yeah, I would go there a lot.
And they're like, I remember the first time I went there, they're like, oh, this is actually Thai spicy. I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm Indian, I can eat spice. And I was like, yeah, just give it to me like medium or high. And I regretted that decision.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a spot you can't solo down. You have to go with people to truly enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I agree. We talked about Tex-Mex. We talked about prime rib. I think we're getting near the end. Is there? You told us about the restaurants. Like, do you eat out every day?
I eat out 5 to 7 times a week.
And how do you keep your weight down? Do you exercise?
So like today, so I do 3 to 6 days a week of working out. If my schedule's not too busy, I like to work out 6 times a week. So 3 days of running, 3 days of weightlifting. And yeah, I wish I could even do it more, but anytime I'm not eating, I try to keep things as boring as possible. What I'll do is I'll have oatmeal with fruit at home. Because I'm eating out so much, in restaurants, they love to butter stuff up. So
that's their secret weapon.
Exactly, just butter. So you got to have oatmeal, you got to have fruit, and you got to get your veggies in. So in my backpack,
what is your end game? What is your goal in life?
At first I thought it was just like fun to do. I'm a big believer in like the economic concept of like spontaneous order, where you just like, hey, you just go wherever life takes you. And like same thing with like a free market economy. You just like, hey, whatever works. And I think now it'd be fun to be mayor of Houston in 20 years. Genuinely.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, see,
I want Houston to be the best like food city on earth.
Do you anticipate that you're going to keep doing your food reviews for infinitely or forever? Or are you going to at some point do something different? Do you think you're going to do this when you're married and you have children?
That's where it gets tough, right? Because right now I am prioritizing various other aspects of life. And the other thing is if I want to get involved in, because it's not just like people are like, oh, you can hire a videographer, you can do whatever. You still have to go to all the places. You still have to, you still have to research. You still have to do all that, and you can delegate. But the thing is like you got to at that point for me to do all that, to hire a videographer, do all that. I just got to make more and more money.
The thing is, I think one of the things, just from my point of view, that's compelling about you is that you're organic and it's credible.
Yeah.
And you can, I didn't know you did your own editing. I assumed that somebody did that for you, but
no. I can pull it up right now. I'll pull up my CapCut.
But you're going to at some point you're going to lose that.
Like, see, day in the life. Today I went to Simply Coffee. This is me in the car on the way here.
Do you put your camera up on your like car, or how does that? I don't even know how. I don't know how to do that.
No. It's just like you just figure out various.
I mean, you're not doing this driving, are you?
And no. Of course. And what I tell people too is how Houston's influencer scene is. You'll always have people come up every 3 months. They can maintain it for a month. They can maintain it for 3 months. To maintain it for a year consistently is incredibly difficult, because what's going to happen is you're either going to get to a point where you're like, because in the beginning stages, right? You don't have really brand deals to deal with. So it is a cost. So, you got to have somebody who's willing to spend $15,000, $20,000 in the first year. And you're not going to make much money on it. And even if you're a big influencer in Houston, you're actually not going to make much money, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a few people that do it full time. People can maintain.
Who does it full time in Houston?
There's
does Wayne Dang do it full time?
I don't want to speak on behalf of Wayne. I think he still works full time as well.
And he travels a lot.
But that's one of the benefits I think of nowadays is like if you can work remotely, and like for example, if I know I'm going to a spot and it's in the other part of town, I will pull up to a coffee shop right next to it.
Do you work remotely?
Yes, I do.
All the time. Do you have an office you have to go to?
No, I mean I go in once like a year, maybe a few times a year, but for the most part, I like to be, I like to be remote as much as possible. But I'm one of those people. I am no bullshit. I try to be as honorable as possible. I will get my work done. I'm one of those kind of people.
If you book 40 hours a week, you work 40 hours a week.
Absolutely.
No bullshit.
No. It's like, you want to be honest, you want to be honorable, and you want to get your work done. I do want to start my own business one day. And that's where I think.
Doing what?
So actually, when I was doing my master's in business at Pepperdine, one of the things I wanted to launch was a search fund. So essentially, it's a mini private equity fund. I did a 20-page paper on it where basically, it was a big trend in the MBA community to acquire a small business, right? Like what you do is, you raise a little bit of money and then you buy something with an SBA loan, for a couple $1 million, and then, you would operate the business yourself. So that was what I originally wanted to do. I still may do that. The issue is that if you do something like that, you got to have 70, 80 hours a week in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means I would have to cut out being an influencer. And so that's a tough phase, right? Because it's like, social media is a treadmill. If you're not constantly on it, you will slowly fade out. And you know this as well. I mean, you post every day as well. So
they give me shit about it because I do.
Oh yeah. What's just curious? What's your end goal with it as well?
That's what we were talking about today. I don't know. It's like I think you were getting. I may have cut you off, but you were saying like when you first start out, everything's kind of, at least from my perspective, new, and I got a lot to say, and I got a lot to. But then we were talking like, well, what if we wake up one day and we don't really have anything? We're not interested in anything. We don't really care.
Yeah.
Do we just quit? And they said, what was that? The rule is you got to do at least how many podcasts?
Yeah, they said if you did 21 podcasts, you're already in like the top 1% of podcasters.
And that's kind of similar to what you were saying is like people kind of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they kind of just fade out.
Yeah.
And you have like obviously kept going and people have responded.
That's why, I'm not actually afraid of competition or anything, because it's not only just like I'm confident in myself, but it's just like, hey, if there's more influencers in town, that helps bring more attention to Houston. Now, what I will say is like everybody in Houston, for some reason, wants to be a food influencer. Yeah. I feel like, and the only way you can make it sustainable is to have your own, personal hobby, personal things that you're interested in. If you're interested in golf, be a golf influencer. If you're interested in, I don't know, just like there's a guy on TikTok that I like saw a couple days ago. All he cares about is sticky toffee pudding. That's all he cares about. And like he'll just go around the UK just trying different sticky toffee pudding.
Really?
Like whatever you're interested in, that's what will be sustainable. And I think a lot of people, they don't innovate, they replicate, which is a terrible disaster, which is not going to work.
What do you think makes you different than everyone else then?
I think I'm truly passionate about it. Like, I think like I truly love Houston. I truly love the food scene. I get one of the things that like now that I've lived in all these spots around the country, I am like, I look at the benefits of, like New York's an incredible city. LA is, Miami is, and I want Houston. When people like think about Houston, I want people, to get excited. Yeah. Right now, people are like, oh, that's cute, Houston.
No, it's like if your business takes you to Houston, it would be really cool if they say, oh man, that's awesome. That's the best food city in the, that's what people think when they think about New Orleans. They think, oh, I'm going to New Orleans. Oh man, the food there is fucking amazing.
Yeah, or if you get transferred to New York, you hit the lottery. Basically.
Yeah, in New York, it is obviously
LA, same thing.
LA, I've spent a lot of time in LA, and I never thought of LA as a food city, personally. But of course, we had a bad experience.
The first thing is when people go to LA, they always stay in downtown LA, and I was like, that's a mistake. You never stay in downtown LA.
My experience had nothing to do with that. It had to do with representing a woman that allegedly killed 2 kids. So
oh my God!
I said I'm never going back to LA again.
We were there for a lot of things
2 months.
That went along with that. Yeah, way too long.
We were in a trial for 2 months, and the trial ended with the marshal or the bailiff putting our client in handcuffs and taking her away. So as we left to LA that day, I said to him, I will never go back to LA. I don't give a fuck if they become the best food city in the country or the world. Yeah. I'm never going back. So I have an issue with LA, but Miami just was down there.
It's okay. It's not a great food city.
And every restaurant seems like it's a disco. I don't really like that.
Too clubby.
Yeah, it's a little clubby.
It's the land of, I don't know. When I think of Miami, I just think of crypto scams for some reason.
Yeah. And real estate scams and all kinds of scams. So go blow it to us before we close out here. So you're thinking at some point you're going to get married. Yep. Probably. Going to have children. You're not going to be able to do 300 reviews a year.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to figure out a way to do them on just, if you continue to do that. But lay that aside. You have some political ambitions.
In 20, 30 years. I have a lot of other goals.
Wait a minute, man. You're 30 years old. It ain't going to be that long. Okay, you got to get started now.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is go down to the local primary. I'm not going to say which party.
No. I genuinely don't want to be involved in politics because I think, one of the things is you can only spread yourself out so thin. And I think I feel like there's so many other aspects of Houston, so many other communities that I want to understand. Food is one of them. I've also done a lot of things to do around Houston. I've also, I feel like I know the cocktail scene pretty well. I know the coffee scene pretty well. And I'm slowly building out these various niches to understand it.
To understand the whole city.
To understand the whole city. Like when I want people, people think of me, I want people to like, you are the Houston person.
You want to be Mr. Houston.
I don't know if you know Dave Grutman in Miami at all. So Dave Grutman is a guy that owns like a bunch of nightclubs. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, we know Grutman.
So the young people know.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like that same vibe. I don't want to own a bunch of nightclubs or anything, but
he's like the face of Miami.
When people think of Houston, you would like them to think of you.
Yeah, think of an Indian guy with a turban.
But I mean, right now, we think of the other day they were doing like I told Mattress Mac this. It was like
the founding fathers.
They did like the Mount Rushmore of Houston.
Yeah,
they had Bun B on there. They had Mattress Mac, and I forget who else.
Fertitta, I think, was on there.
I don't think they had Fertitta. They wouldn't. Okay. No offense to Tillman, but they wouldn't. But you want to be on there.
But I also think
they didn't have me on there either. So fuck that.
So Tony, I was like, the reason why I tell you why I wouldn't run now or why I wouldn't run anytime within the next 20 years is
20 years, bro.
Nah.
You're going to be 50.
He's playing the long game.
I have a lot of goals. Like, for example, one of my goals when I'm like 65 and up, and this is a goal that I'm saving for when I'm older and retired, is like I want to visit every national park in the U.S. But like I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish at various
levels. Do you have
levels.
these written down?
Yeah. There's this guy named Jesse Itzler. He's like a...
Yeah, I know who it is.
He has the big calendar,
right? I have it in my home.
So you're a very goal-oriented person.
I am very goal-oriented. And so I'll give an example, right? I don't, whatever the parties, whatever, I don't care about them in the sense of if let's say if I ran tomorrow, right? You forcibly have to put yourself in a lane.
You have to.
And you can't do
You never can get out of it.
And you can't do the stuff that like, you want to operate in. For example, like, if you're looking at things from a conservative libertarian framework, you have to constantly cut taxes. You have to constantly cut spending. If you're on the Democratic side, it's the complete opposite. So, and there's like, what I would want to do is I want to build so much good equity, be so much known as like, genuine, constantly helping Houston that I want the freedom to operate the way that I want to operate. Everything.
You want to have enough credibility and who you are that people will give you the benefit of the doubt if you do something that they think is outside of what they think about you.
Exactly. Like because otherwise, if you're just in a lane, anybody can be that person within a lane, right? Like, 90% of the people, if you're in a party, you will follow 90% of those policies no matter what. Like, no matter what, you can, and so it's a bargain, it's a bet, but it's a long-term goal. It's not something I want right now. It's not like, otherwise you're just falling in and you're just a figurehead, which isn't fun.
What do you think the most overrated restaurant is in Houston?
Overrated.
Totally overrated. This is going to be a little negative.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to go
That's
that
fair.
way, but what do you think?
For something to be overrated, it means a lot of people have to love it, right? Or something.
It just means it gets a lot of love from various people.
A lot of
but you've
hype,
tried
I
it and you
guess.
don't think it's worth shit.
So I do want to say, El Tiempo Cantina. I haven't had a positive experience there the last 2-3 times that I've been. But to be fair, I've only gone to one of the locations, which is it's like the one off 290. It's a little bit near like Spring Branch, I think. I did not have a positive experience there 2 or 3 times. And I feel like everybody in town loves El Tiempo. But what I will point out though, is I don't know what their ownership group is, whatever, but I remember researching them 2 years ago. And basically, like on their website, they have like a thing where like anyone can just invest like $100,000, $200,000 and just like get a portion of it. So I wonder if like
I was involved in a large lawsuit with them, with one of their investors. That was for the El Tiempo down in Webster, Clear Lake area. And there was a time when Lorenzo, who is behind that, was taking on investors, and they were going to open in the Woodlands. They were opening down. They were really trying to grow the brand and grow. But I think if you were going to say which El Tiempo is the main one, wouldn't it be the one on Westheimer?
The one on Washington.
On Washington.
Yeah, that's the main one. Like Friday, Saturday nights, that's where everyone goes.
And people always say that their margaritas are great or something because they put extra alcohol in them or something.
They have filet fajitas, which is kind of special. Not everyone will do steak or beef, but they do filet fajitas.
I think a lot of the Tex-Mex I like Chuy's, I like Escalante's, I like El Tiempo, Nympha's on Navigate, all those. To me, they're all kind of, if you really want really good fajitas and really good like meat and on a good taco, La Michoacana, if you just go there, get their marinated meats and bring it home, and you don't even need any oil, just put it in the pan and heat it up. It's the best meat that I've ever eaten. Yeah. And I'm not saying that because he's my client, but he is my client. But he's from Michoacan, Mexico. He came here when he was 1986, opened his first grocery store, and now has 200 of them. Dang. And, so he's doing something right. But I think that's the best meat in town. And so it's hard for me to go to a place like, Francis likes to go to these places, but it's hard for me to go to La Michoacan or to Escalante's or El Tiempo and eat a taco and knowing that it's not near as good as what I could get from La Michoacana. So
El Tiempo, most overrated. That's a good answer because it gets a ton of hype, and I feel like a lot of people are just going because that's where
we're going to say it right here. Shawn the Food Sheep says El Tiempo is the most overrated restaurant in Houston.
On the one, I've only had two.
Don't qualify it. Just leave it out there.
You're a social media guy, Tony. I respect it. I respect it. Yeah.
Just leave it. Let's leave it as it lays. Yeah. So if somebody wanted to start, let's say you have an enterprising young man like this guy right here who has this idea that he wants to be a food reviewer. And what would you tell him? First off, would you encourage him, or would you say, hey man, unless you're willing to really commit to this and do it for a year, don't waste your time.
300 videos a year.
I think, I'd say post consistently. It doesn't need to be, something, it doesn't need to be video format.
Do you keep your videos 30 seconds or a minute, or how do you do that? Or does that matter to you?
About a minute to a minute and a half. So to be transparent, TikTok pays for over a minute videos. So that's why I try to do over a minute. But also,
what do you mean they pay? What does that mean? I don't understand.
So TikTok, if you have over 100,000 followers, I think it's over 50,000, and you do over minute long videos, they will essentially pay you based on view count, pay you based on stuff.
They pay you into your PayPal account or something, or what into?
Yeah, kind of like that. It's like a monthly, it's like based on your metrics. So it's a big reason why on TikTok, why you'll see so many videos by people. You should just look up your favorite, it could be any random influencer. They'll have a video a minute and 1 second long. And the reason they purposely do that is because they want to get paid on that video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you get paid on Instagram too?
Nah, but it's like off and on. Not really though.
You get paid on Facebook?
Occasionally, man, I will say the best time to be an influencer, if you wanted to, was 2022, 2023, because you could make so much money on all these platforms, and it's all relative, right? When I say TikTok, you get paid on it. It's not that much, but I consider my TikTok budget like my coffee budget for the month. So that's why I'll drink a lot of coffee when I'm out and about, just because TikTok will just pay for all my coffee that month.
So, because Facebook kept sending me messages like, "Hey, you need to give us your bank information because you have, you're entitled to money." And I was like, "I'm not giving them my bank. How much am I entitled?" They said I was entitled to $700 or something, and I was like, "Well, I ain't worth giving my bank information." It's
something small, and that's why I'd say being an influencer is not necessarily, unless you're really, really big. It's in various niches, right? Like for example, I thought about starting. I'm a big personal finance person. I love personal finance. If you started a personal finance account and you had 20,000 followers, I guarantee you could do it full time. Because food, everybody wants to do food. Everyone wants to do lifestyle travel. A lot of these very niche, those personal finance companies, they're looking for, the banks, the financial institutions. Yeah. They're willing to pay a lot more. They also, restaurants, all that, their margins are a lot thinner. It's, if I wanted to be an influencer and let's say if I was doing it strictly for money, I didn't care about anything else, I would do personal finance.
So you keep your videos a minute to a minute and a half.
Also storytelling now, I feel like I try to research a place that has as much as I can find, has a good story behind it, something that you can tell.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll start your video with saying who the owner is and where they come from or something.
Because that is important.
Is that what the hook that makes people stay and watch?
I think the way I treat a hook is a news article, right? So let's say if you have a 2-3 page news article, you're trying to catch people's attention. And I don't try to be clickbaity, but I do try to say, yesterday I went to a bakery and I said, this bakery will remind you of Disney World.
And so that makes me stay and watch.
Exactly. And how social media works is every 2 seconds, or if not even shorter, people's attention spans are so short, you want to constantly do something to try to keep their attention.
Every 2 seconds.
Yeah, every 2 seconds. I was actually thinking about wearing these Harry Potter style glasses that I have at this podcast, because what you would get is a bunch of comments of people saying, "Shawn, those glasses are so dumb, blah, 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 blah." But it helps the engagement.
Do people shit talk you on your videos?
Oh, I love it.
Do you get offended when people shit talk you?
No, I think only thing I get offended by is when people criticize, let's say if I have one thing I did was, I did everything my Punjabi American family ate for the Super Bowl. So we did a Super Bowl party. And I named, I don't use my family's real names, but a couple of my cousins, I named them Scott and Carmelo. And all the comments were they were rage baited. They were
rage because their names were Scott and Carmelo?
Well, because it's not necessarily the Houston community that I was targeting with that. It was my own Indian community, because I know exactly how they'll work. They'll be like, "You guys are so whitewashed. You guys are, So we would just get them with these. And it's harmless, right? It's just Scott and Carmelo.
Do you ever respond back to people when they shit talk you?
Occasionally, if somebody says something racist or something like that, what I'll do is I'll give an example. There was one guy, he spent a whole thing writing out 2 paragraphs of why he didn't like me. Mm-hmm. I didn't respond to it, deleted it. He rewrote the entire paragraph. He's like, "You delete this, blah, blah." Deleted it, didn't respond. Rewrote it a third time, and then I deleted it immediately. And so the thing is with trolls, because I love trolling people as well. With trolls,
have you ever trolled me, Shawn?
No. I jumped.
How many different Facebook profiles do you have?
Burners.
That's called burner.
But the best way, the only thing a troll wants is attention. So if you take away the attention mechanism, you're basically
cutting them off at the legs.
I thought when you engaged in the comments, that increased your reach or something.
But it does legitimately, right? If we're having a real conversation, that's different. But
that's his defense, Rob.
but
if I spent a whole day clapping back at people.
What you do that?
I did it one day, yeah. And at the end of the day, I felt like, fuck, why did I do that?
I was trying to work on a case the other day, and Buzz was just in the comments. I was like, "Come on, man!"
I was just in the comments. I was like, of course, what I posted was stupid, and it wasn't meant to be serious. I just said that. What was I talking? What did I say?
It's something about size of people's lots.
Oh, I said that these people that talk about they're their ranch. I'm on my ranch, and it's like a 30-acre piece of property. I said, well, that ain't no damn goddamn ranch. A ranch is thousands of acres. This is Texas. Yeah. We're gonna use the word ranch. We're gonna use the damn word the proper way. Yeah. Well, that made a lot of people angry. Oh yeah, and people like, oh, you elitist and all this stuff.
I worked my whole life.
I worked my whole life for this 30 acres. I mean, man, God bless you. I'm not have anything against you. I mean, it's all in fun. I was just kidding around, but people went off, and so when I did the thing about, I think people are stupid who back into parking spots, because I really do think that. And people went off on me. I talked about people with Corvettes. I think Corvette's the dumbest fucking car on the street. People didn't like that. And so I guess from your point of view, you've been doing this longer and you got a bigger following. So when somebody shit talks you, do you, let's say it's not racist. It's not like something that's really out of bounds, but just like legitimate criticism, or they're just shitting on you, do you just leave it there? Do you respond to it, or do you just ignore it?
No. So there was this one time where coffee was something I didn't know at all. In 2023, when I was getting into it, I was saying these are the best coffee shops, whatever. I genuinely didn't know what I was talking about because it was my first time drinking coffee. And, after a couple months, some guy actually responded in the comment section. He's like, hey, Shawn, he's like, actually, these are all the best, whatever. And actually, got to know him pretty well. He actually was a photographer, and he started, I messaged him. I was like, actually, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? And that's how you really I actually, now he's a friend, and he I sometimes hire him for some photography shoots, and that's just it. Sometimes those are the nuggets that you want to figure out. Again, it's 10% of it, but if it's somebody legitimate, if it is a chef, it is something that I see as a comment, I'll be like, oh wait, this person actually has a good background. Let me see if I can actually learn from them or something. But that's only 10% of the time.
90% of the time, it's just some asshole.
But that's cool. That's the game of social media. And I don't, if the only goal is attention, you can, and you didn't care about, I actually think media literacy, the biggest problem with media literacy nowadays is just deciding what's rage bait and what's not. Mm-hmm. If I see an influencer, if I see a content creator do something, I was like, man, that's good, man. I was like, you got them in the comments.
You mean like calling people's ranches yards?
Well, if you give something with a lot of context, if you're the boring intellectual, you're saying a lot of stuff, you're not going to get any likes or anything like that. But if you just say something dumb, I don't know, you just rage bait somebody with, I'm trying to think of a tweet I saw the other day where I was like, it was so dumb. They were I don't know. It was just because I'm on personal finance threads a lot. Yeah. And somebody was like, you shouldn't save for a 401k or whatever like that. And the second thread was it actually brought out everything. I was like, oh, that's a good one. You're gonna get a lot of these people with this.
I see.
And again, that's what I mean by media literacy is watch yourself when you're responding to stuff, because 80-90% of influencers, they're smarter than they look. They know what they're doing. So if they're rage baiting, just keep that word in your mind. Just rage bait. Are they trying to make you mad on purpose? 90% of the time they are. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what I was doing. Yeah. So if I really believe that Corvettes suck. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to wrap this up and tell you that we really enjoy you and appreciate you, and we wish you the best success. And I want you to go try the peanut butter burger and try the steak sandwich at Beck's. And we're going to try a lot of these restaurants that you gave us.
And send me some honest thoughts.
I will.
Yeah, we wrote them all down.
Cuss me out in the comments.
No, we won't do that. But we won't do that. But we'll definitely get back with you. And but with that, I think we're going to wrap it up, gents.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah.